thanks for bringing so many friends. Look at me sort of fall into flames into this, so thanks a lot. Graduation is coming along, and I like what I normally do when I hit milestones, which is to take stock. What I normally do is look at my past and see what it means to me. Well, I guess sometimes you look in the past and the past does not change. If you were the kid who eats pants in school, 20 years time, you're still that kid eating pants in school. That wasn't me, by the way, so. But nonetheless, what changes was my perspective, and as I go to my next phase in life, as I take stock again, I gain new insights, and this time it's the role of luck. To let you know into my past, statistically speaking, I was determined to fail. I was born in a council estate in Hong Kong, and man, it was nasty there. High crime rates. We just messed up a lot. There was so much trouble that they had so much data that predetermined us purely from being born there. It meant that meant the following. It meant that 80% chance of me from thieving, 50% chance for me of going into jail, and 20% more than 2 years. The good news though was that the chance for me being a drug dealer was diminished because I was a fat kid, and drug dealers are kind of thin. So there's that. Add to the fact that I was born to single-family parents meant that I was high-risk juvenile delinquent. I was subject to a lot of social worker visits, and man, they just can't choose the best time to visit. Every time they visit was when Ninja Turtles were on. I mean, come on, don't stop. I want to watch how Raphael's kicking butt. There's that, but also I just didn't like how people predetermined my life. You never know. I could be Athens in the day and Raphael at night kicking butt. And you know what? Why am I the bad guy? I should be the one beating up the bad guys. So it could be hunger or rebellion, but I felt that a lot of things I could be whoever I want to be, even if it meant working harder or finding ways out. To give you a few examples, when I was in school, I had a lot of kids around me came from nicer neighborhoods, and my mom wanted me to fit in, so she tried to pick an English name. You know, normally Adam or David, those were good names. I mean, I was fine, but my mom went all the way top to choose Athens. I mean, if you ask her, she just want to play safe, right? She just want to make me a bit exotic, belong part of it. School science projects, I had some soldering to do. My classmates had dads to help them. It was guide work. I asked my social worker. Valentine's Day. Fresh flowers are hard to come by. They're really expensive as well, so instead I glued together magazine cutouts for my high school crush. So, so things weren't in the best position, but I always found ways around it. Okay, fine. These ways out weren't that cool. I mean, half the class could not pronounce my name, and I was a fat kid, so I just reverted back to fatso or fat kid. But my social worker soldering was messy, and my high school crush was a bit smart and to not pick me. But nonetheless, it's a good habit for me to have that optimism, like what we said. I continued the attitude, and thankfully, with a lot of luck, I got through high school, university, and had some experience abroad. And that was in the backdrop of me being determined to drop out from high school. I'd like to say that I went through all this experience with a sword in my hand, with shield, slaying all the naysayers, all the social workers who thought I could not make it otherwise. But in truth, I was always fearful. There's always that voice and that devil next to me thinking, hey, is this really you? What if you were to find out? What makes you think that you could beat that 80% odd that you'll be dropping out from high school? What what if we found out? What if they found you out? But thankfully, for better or for worse, I found my own voice and it was too loud to ignore. It convinced me that I was able to prove that life was driven more by the decisions I make, the attitude I have, rather than product of my circumstances. I was in control of my life, right? Not quite. That was what I thought. Now I'll tell you through another experience 2 years ago. I went back to my childhood neighborhood, and it was very nostalgic. I went to my dumpling house, sat down, ordered my favorite bowl of noodles. Then I heard a very warm voice saying, "Hey, is this Momo?" Momo is a nickname I was given back in childhood. And I turned around and saw a very familiar face. That was Chang. Chang was, Chang and I were best buddies. We grew up together. And we did many things together. We walked to school together. We did homework together. We watched cartoons together. As we go a bit later, we strategized how to sort of coach each other for girls. Until I found out we actually liked the same girl, but we were essentially the same person. What was different though was our outcome. I learned that after going through middle school, he dropped out from vocational school to tend his mom who was sick. He then, to pay her medical bills, he went through construction work, contracted some lung complication, and now he's back doing different jobs like bartending, hairdressing, still trying to make ends meet. And across the table, that was me. Same background, but in nicer clothes. Went through university, made it through the poverty line, and had a whole future in front of me. How is it that two people who came from such same backgrounds had such a different outcome? Was it because I was more hardworking? Well, I guess you can say that, but that was because I was born in I was born healthy. My mom was very loving, and I had freedom and freedom from responsibility, so I could focus on school. Was it because I was smarter? But hey, that's a genetic lottery, and I turned out to be lucky. Why? Who was I to? I could have easily ended on the other side. Who was I to had the more fortunate outcome? When I think about how it's just a humbling experience for me to think that a lot of how I am today was, I thought it was because of myself, but actually turned out to be luck, which is something out of my control. It was a gift. So where does this leave me? I learned that good things can happen to you with the right attitude, with courage, things you can control. But then I'm also cognizant of the role of luck, which I accept with humility and appreciation. That was my past, and will be my future. To end, I'd like to share with you this prayer. God grant me the courage to change the things I can, and the serenity to accept the things I cannot, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you very much.